Finn Russell off, Stuart Hogg off, two of their best players off, and they managed to push through and push through and push through. And yeah, France bottled it. But, they got the win in France.
Good patience, 21 phases to get the try. And they bottled it, but Scotland probably did a little bit too. They did have dominance for the most part and let the French back in the second half, but then fought their way back in to get ahead, and then obviously the French got ahead just before the red card, and then the red card happened, and you sort of thought, oh well, that's it, done. And then just through grit and determination managed to get it done. But it was a great game to watch. It was a great spectacle, just similar to the Welsh French game from the week before. You sort of thought. Well, I went into both games assuming the French were going to win, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And was surprised, by the Welsh performance. And to be honest, with the final result, I was so surprised that the French came back to win that game. And then on this one, I was so surprised that the Scots came back to win this one. So both weeks, you're on the edge of your seat and how convenient is the kickoff time on a Saturday morning, I might add. So no, it was a great way to finish a tournament that was so tightly contested, and I think it was Scotland's best finish in a number of years. I think, so they actually had plenty to play for. A lot of people were talking about, can Scots do the Welsh a favour, but actually they were doing themselves a favour to finish second. I think they ended up finishing second or third or something like that. I remember the commentators saying this is the best finish they've had in a number of years if they can get a result. So for them, that was huge.
Yeah. It was incredible, really, that they can turn around, because we don't think much about the Scottish, ever. No one really talks about them. And
no.
They hardly ever get those boil-overs.
I think they will now, and I think that's what a character like Finn Russell does, because he is so much of a maverick as such. He can do things so unexpected that it's not a predictable game plan. You can't predict what you can see a Scotland team name with Finn Russell, and you've got to be on the edge of your seat, because he can pull things off that other players just can't. And with a Stuart Hogg there, who we know is exceptional, but you add the two together, and a forward pack that will just go to the death, every week, with a pretty solid set piece. They're going really well.
Just on that, Jack, because obviously in probably previous lines too, as the Scottish players probably haven't been rewarded with selection. Obviously, we've been so successful, having some great wins this year. Are there any ones that you think had probably warranted, a Lions call, apart from Finn Russell and Stuart Hogg?
Oh, that Vandermeer, the winger, he potentially's played himself in. I make a joke about him going and doing that pick and go try, but he wants to be involved. And I think a player with that attitude, that wants to have the ball in his hand, and you're a winger, defensively he's always going to be active when he's got that attitude, and then he's always going to be a body in motion that is going to attract defenders. So if he doesn't get the ball, he's still going to hold someone that might create an opportunity for someone else. So I just think anyone with that sort of attitude, you want in a squad, because even if he's not picked, he's going to be a great squad member. So that's just my take on it. I don't know the guy, just from watching him.
Yeah. Bryn, what about the French? I mean, it sounds counterintuitive, but I wonder whether losing that game is the best possible thing for them looking forward a couple of years. A bunch of young guys who've got a lot of talent and have, come a long way. They didn't win when everyone thought they should. And now looking forward, they need to learn that kind of lesson going to a World Cup.
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, they had an opportunity to win that game. So I think any test match you're playing in, it doesn't matter who you play for, you want to be winning test matches. But yeah, I think you can just take a lot of confidence from what we've seen from them. It's a young side that have come through. A lot of them have come through the under-20s program that was successful a couple of years ago, and bigger picture-wise, 2023 is the goal for them, especially being in France. But I think personally, as a team, it would have been nice for them to get that win, to sign off a pretty successful Six Nation campaign, especially they won previously with Wales, that last-ditch effort to win that game. It would have been nice for them to finish off the season well. But we've talked about a lot the way they're playing their rugby at the moment. The flair, it's back, We've talked around the new initiative around their attacking style. We're massive. I'm a massive fan of Karl. He's massive. He's been great. So, yeah, they would have loved to win that game, but I think going forward, we've talked about a lot. That 2023, their progression is going up by that. So they'll continue to learn, and they'll be better for next year in the Six Nations competition.
I'm with you. I reckon it's a good loss.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't hide over the cracks. If they'd won the Six Nations, maybe they just think, oh, you know, we're building and we are just going on that trajectory and it might just happen. Whereas they lose at home, maybe they just have a little bit of a harder look and go, we're not quite there yet. We've got a little bit more to learn, and that means they're going to take that attitude into 2022, and I think they'll be even a more dangerous beast going into that 2023. I think it's a good thing for them as a group, and I think it will help them progress and learn a lot about, because you've got to win 7 games to win a World Cup. So it teaches them about how disciplined and structured and how hard it is to be on that winning streak run, and what goes into pulling that off.
Right to the very end.
Yeah.
Right till the 80th minute.
And there is no opposition. You can just go, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
At international level, there is no opposition. You can go, this is just going to happen.
The thing I think I like about the French setup right now is the consistency of selection. In the past, they'd lose a game like this and they would just be wholesale changes. But you get the feeling that they know they're building something and they've got to push through this.
Yeah, and I think there's a good, I suppose, cohesive nature between player leadership and management, which maybe in the past has been, I don't know, I'm guessing, is maybe just been a disconnect. Maybe, I don't know. But it looks like they're just all singing off the same song sheet and working together. And again, that's why I think they might review the game and go, what can we take out of this, and why did we slip off after? Because it wasn't a great performance that by their standards against Wales either. I know Wales are a great side, but even like their defence was passive compared to past weeks when they were, you know, emotive, and especially after a late loss to England. Like, let's not forget the loss to England, and then, you know, they just won against Wales, and then now they've just lost to Scotland. Do you know what I mean? Like, we are confident about them, but to win a World Cup, you have to win 7 games against teams that are peaking. You know, they'll be peaking, but she's a big beast. So I think it's a good position. They're in a great position and they've got the quality, but there's a lot of work to do before 2023 as well.